God, you guys make me blush with all that applause. How you doing, Lily?
I'm doing good, John. How are you?
I'm good. I ended green today, so everything is good. That's always
Good
a
day.
nice feeling after all that hard work. It is a lot of work. You know, it should be fun, but it is a lot of work. I got to tell you.
It is. It is. And I just want to go ahead and give everybody a heads up, even though nobody's here yet. But if you lose me, it's because of the weather.
Nobody's here
We
yet.
have a thunderstorm coming in.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me see. If I bring up comments, can I actually see when people come on? Yeah.
Yeah, if you look in the left corner, you can also see who's viewing, and I'm watching the comments. Gotcha.
Here we go. Oh, I see. We got a big zero up there. So we're just kind of talking to
Right, you
ourselves
can
right
look right
now.
there, and then when I do the comments, I'll put it up on the screen for you so you can see that too, and let it roll.
Yeah, I try not to jump. Now, let me see. It's just, oh, right. See, every time I come back to see the comments, if I'm sharing my screen, we get that.
Yeah. That's okay, though. We have information, so that's important. And looking at the markets and stuff and what's been going on.
I've been watching the markets. There haven't been any home run hitters, so to say, in the OTC. There's no big meme stocks or anything going on right now, but there's a lot of sympathy plays. There's a lot of sector movement.
Well, before we go into the OTC, did you see how the SPY finished today?
Down.
Yes.
Down very strong at the end of the day. I played an Apple option, which basically follows the SPY. You'd think it was the same chart.
That's right.
About an hour ago, she started falling fast.
This morning we had a Twitter space. We always do Twitter spaces on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I was in that. And I said, guys, the bell's fixing to ring. Let's look at SPY before we go. And we did. And they said, well, what's going on with SPY? And I said, big nothing sandwich. It's been doing this, and I didn't look for it to really be strong. And I didn't know if it'd be today, but it's touching back to that 401, 400 area.
Yeah, well, there had some good up motion today if you were playing calls, and then there was an option to play those puts. For those who like to play options, there was money both ways. And honestly, unless you short stocks or play options, you can't make money in a down market. So it really is part of the education. I mean, you might as well make money on any day. You should have the option, right? And OTCs, they don't have any options, but penny stocks got options. But you know what? That's the whole thing with options. You don't have to stick with little tiny companies. You can get into much bigger companies. And, well, it's worth the education, but that's a whole nother video. There's lots of them out there. Yeah. Discord's got a bunch of them. We have a bunch over there at Penny Boys. Bunch of tips. I mean, if you're looking for information, you've come to the right place. I'm just the tip of the iceberg.
Woohoo!
There you go.
All right. Well, we got a few viewers. Welcome, you guys.
Hey, guys, glad to see you here.
Or anything OTC or your penny stocks on the NASDAQ, feel free to post them and we'll look them over.
Hey, Top Sealer Jurgen, good to have you here. Today, great. Did I pronounce that right? Probably not. Hey, so, the OTC market, it's been pretty flimsy still on the volume. I think we did 5.2 billion today, 5.6. Nothing to brag about or talk about. Not a whole lot of heavy hitters, no memes, no stocks that are really out there that everybody's really excited about, but there's still action out there. Have you noticed that even on the big markets, there's a lot of sympathy plays going on in sectors where it just doesn't matter what's going on with the stock? The stock is going up with the high tide?
Yes, absolutely. I've been noticing this with oil and your oil plays. We've had some air purification stuff that's moving around here lately. Your bio sectors are going up here recently.
The two I saw this week, including the one that you just mentioned, is food. All the companies that are creating food, not just distributing it or selling it, but the companies making food. And Chinese companies. Boy, this whole week, Chinese companies on both markets have just been popping like popcorn. And I mean, there's been a lot of money to be made there. But to look at the stock, to look at the news or a disclosure, there's nothing. Absolutely nothing going on.
No news. So kind of like a typical pump and dump, which, I mean, this has happened a lot with Chinese stocks in the past. So if you're playing,
well, there was news this
careful.
week. On Monday, China released their chokehold that they've had for a year on the technology companies. So that's why Alibaba and all these other Chinese companies that work with technology, Baidu is another one, I believe, they're all starting to spurt up again because China's got their foot off of their throats. So there's a lot of positive emotions here. China is in financial hardship. So, you know, they really can't spite themselves. I know that they've got their own rules, but everybody needs money. And it's amazing how much you'll compromise to get the money. So
that does make sense.
I made a video yesterday about Chinese stocks. And the funny thing was, I don't know if you watched, but two of the companies looked Chinese. But to get down into them, neither one was Chinese. They were both Karen Courier plays. That was coincidental. I didn't know that. One was called Chinese Dongsheng. Well, yeah, with a name like China Dongsheng, it got a lot of attention. But you dive into the 10K, they've got two deals, one for lithium minerals and one for oil fields over in Texas. Isn't there a fire over there right now? Some oil fields in Texas.
I've heard something about that, but I don't know for sure.
So, and these aren't exploration. They're ready to be tapped. And I guess they're next to two of the biggest oil fields over there that are already producing over 100 million barrels of oil. So they've got deals on the table, but there's nothing happening. It's still a shell company. It hasn't happened yet. And we just discovered that because it looked Chinese and looked like it was surging. And it was surging on the tide, but by false pretense. However, it's an opportunity waiting to happen. There's two deals that just happened in March that they haven't closed the books on and got the ticker and everything going. So they got that. And then there was the other one called Avery, which is Alliance, which isn't a Chinese name, but their address was Mengyang, China. Again, a company that was owned by Karen Courier, an expert market play. Clean shell, has a float of 9 million. 9 million. And Karen Courier, in case you don't know, she invests in these companies. A lot of money, a lot of work, a lot of time. So if you're looking for somebody to get the job done, look for someone who's got an investment. There's somebody who's motivated to get stuff done. And to show you how good she is, ILUS is a great example. ILUS was hers. And that company is not only thriving in their own right, but they're investing hugely in other OTC companies, 10%. They just got a majority stakehold in another company, though I got some feedback on YouTube about it not being a great company because they're not making an income. Well, we're on the OTC market. This is the startup markets. Not all companies are making huge bucks yet. That's why we're looking at them now, right?
That's right. That's why we do what we do.
So I got a couple here that have been highlighted this last week. You may want to consider them. This company, MaxD. Now, there was a lot of hype about it. The price has fallen. People are calling it a pump and dump. So, you know, anytime people say that, they're either losing money or they know something. But in either case, we don't just throw it to the wind and don't pay attention to it. You just do your DD more thoroughly. Well, this is a brand new Twitter account. He just opened up. That's it. June 2nd, he opened it up, and there was no information about this company. And then he said he was going to make an announcement, and he made two announcements here. Not that one, this one, that they had recently signed an agreement with Natural Mexico for MaxD's in-ground assets, and they get a 50-50 split. But it was this one that blew everyone's mind. He says what's in the ground in that area is worth $1 trillion that they have access to, and they get 50% of that. Well, I just looked today, and this guy has been posting like crazy, tweeting, and he's breaking down information here, and he shows income right here because people wanted to know. I made a video, and I said, man, I don't know how much money they're going to get when, but he says they're going to start at 100 million run rate by Q4 of this year. 2023, you can add $250 million to that. In 2025, you can add almost $500 million to that. So this has been catching a lot of attention. He's opened up the door for questions. He says, come pick my brain. the reason I'm pointing it to you is not just what he's saying, but because there's a lot of people buzzing about it. That's the whole
And that
point.
matters.
That is the whole point. You know, people say run away from a pump and dump. Well, you know what? If you know it's a pump and dump in advance, aren't you more prepared? It's like knowing your phone is bugged. You can control the people on the other side by giving them false information. You have the upper hand. So when you see a stock run that you've heard so much bad about, well, you know it's prepared to run because someone's going to take advantage of it. Might as well be you. Don't
That's how I play, John. That's how I play. It doesn't have to have good news. If I see that the chatter and the sentiment's increasing and the volume's increasing, Lily's going to play it. Now, I know what's going on. I'm not looking to long hold, but I will absolutely take gains from tickers like that or things that are going on like that. We did get a comment from Top Stealer Jurgen about ARVY and CDSG. I'm not familiar with these two, but we can look at them for sure.
Well, both of these got covered in 2 of my videos just in the last 2 days.
Nice.
These were stocks. Oh, I know what he's doing. He's correcting me. CDSG is the other ticker that Karen Courier has, RV and CDSG. That's what it was. Thank you. I forgot the tickers, and I'm sure these tickers are going to be changed. That's what happens when you do a reverse merger. Everything changes, and that's all she's into. That's all she's into. All right, so why don't we go share a screen here? We'll bring up some information. We got any?
Oh, you guys, I think I lost John. I think he might have hit the exit button by mistake. Oops. Anyway, I'm still here with you. He'll come back in just a minute. Maybe it's me that got disconnected. Hold on. There he is. I can't hear you, John. Unmute. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
There we go. There we go.
Wow, you'd think I was a newbie at this or something.
That's okay. I'll explain what happened.
I don't even know what happened. All right. We're going to share my screen now, entire screen right there. All right. Do we have any questions yet for anything? No?
I'm looking. I don't see one.
That's okay. You know, I thought I was sharing my screen, but there is Max D's Invest Twitter account. The Twitter account. And like I said, he's got quite a few posts here, lots of information because he dropped a bomb. $1 trillion. Who throws that kind of number around?
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's huge. A company that I think is still under the radar, folks, is Mullen. Mullen is they're an EV company. They make EV cars. And they're here in America, and they got 2 factories. And they started this business back in like 2016 with the Cody, I think it was. It was a first EV car, and it failed. But they got to keep the facility and the license. Well, now they've got these much, much better vehicles. But that's not what is intriguing to me. He is this close to having a solid state battery that has proven itself. That's what we're looking at right here. What does it say? Mullen Automotive announces impressive solid-state polymer battery test results. And there's a lot going on in the world right now. A company over in Switzerland just put up a facility. There's a race to get this puppy. It is twice as light, twice as cheap, which means you're going to be able to make a battery the same size, but it's going to give you twice as much power, twice as much distance. So they have a battery here that should give you 600 miles per charge. So there's a big race for this, and he is this close to getting it. And anybody who gets this out there first, man, that's going to be a big, huge market. That we're waiting for something to change in the EV battery market. Something has to give. Lithium is just, man, we're just digging holes everywhere, and it's a lot of money to get to that lithium and get it into the battery. So you may want to put Mullen on there. If you want to look at the chart with me here, you guys can see that?
Yes.
Good. All right. Just want to make sure. All right. Bring up the chart. Now, I got into Mullen, just for all disclosures, Speaking of disclosures, remember, folks, Lily and I are not advisors. We are not licensed. Anything we share here with you is strictly our opinion. So always do your own DD, make your own decisions. We're not here to tell you what to buy and what not to buy, just the way we see it. All right, so there's Mullen, 5-minute. Now, of course, going back, Mullen was I do believe she was a SPAC, wasn't she, at $10? And she went up
I think
to,
you're right. I can't remember for sure.
I think so. And she went up to $16, as you know, many SPACs do. And then she fell with all of this stuff going on. And right now she's at $1.18, which is really a great price considering she now has a second factory in Mississippi. And it's all set up. It's ready to make cars. It was made for another EV car company. We don't know who, but it's all set up. All they have to do is start making them. And they've got orders for their commercial vans already. They're doing 200 right now with another 1,000 behind them, all for a CBD company that wants 1,200 vans to deliver their CBDs. Guess that's good business too. And then they got their cars, but they're making this facility another 1 million square feet. So they've hired a company to do that ASAP because they want to get these cars made and all these vans done right here, made in America. And think about that, folks. How many competitors does Tesla have in America? These are nice cars. I think it's called the 5. That's what it's called, the 5, the Mullen 5. And it's a SUV. And it is fancy dancy, folks. I mean, it's got all kinds of weird gadgets on it, including stuff that's normal, just there's no buttons. You're not going to touch anything. You're going to talk or you're going to use the screens, including the back seat. They've got screens too. So nobody pushes a button to open the window or turns a handle, which, you know, if you run out of electricity underwater, that might be a problem. You may want to think about that.
Also,
but
John,
we can
while
see
you're talking about Mullen, did you say $1.18? Is that a new low for them recently?
Today. Right there, a new low. Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
I'll be watching it then. I want to see, you know, how it's going to play out.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for. You know, you're looking for a
Yeah.
good entry point for a company that looks
really
to have a
pushing
solid
around.
future. Yeah. So,
Also, T. Rick was saying that the lots of news in the EV sector recently: planes, scooters, bikes, snowmobiles, jet skis, spoiled boats.
and how much do you think people are going to be thinking EV with the price of gas the way it's going?
They very well may.
I mean, there's a lot of debate here. You know, are we even prepared to handle an electric car surge? Do we have enough chargers? Probably not. Can we get as far as we need to? Probably not. Can the electric companies produce enough electricity to handle our homes, our air conditioners, and our cars? Probably not. You know, they couldn't handle air conditioners and electricity in California when I lived there. We kept having grayouts. So, you know, we're getting somewhere, but we got a lot of work to do in a lot of different areas to make this all work well. But you're right. There has been a lot of talk about it, and there's going to be more talk about it. And that's why you get a battery that can give you 600 miles. That's going to change the entire market. And from what I understand, they're not going to share the technology initially. They're going to use it for their own products and their own products only. So if you go out and buy a car, you're going to get a car that gets 300 miles per charge or one that gets 600. And it charges up on a fast charge. You can get 80% charge in 21 minutes, which isn't bad. That'll give you like 450 miles in 21 minutes. Pretty good.
Let's get you to your destination. Now, T-Rec also said E-Tech, ETEK has portable chargers for cars until more charging infrastructure happens. Now, I haven't heard of a portable charger. That's interesting. I don't even know how that would work.
There's lots of companies that have innovative ideas. There's like HPIL and another company that I can't think of now. They have units that as the car is running, it charges, which you would think would be an easy thing. Just throw a fifth wheel on the back of the car, and as it rolls down the street, it's generating electricity.
That's what I kept thinking, but I don't know anything about cars, and I'm not.
Well, they say it's not that easy, but okay, whatever. But they got a unit, and as long as you're moving, it makes electricity. And of course, if you're not moving, you're not wasting it, so you don't need to be making it. So that's a perpetual motor. That would be intense. Anybody actually comes out with a car that never needs to be plugged in, boom, first mover advantage on that is going to be huge. But if someone can come out with one that has at least double the range of everybody else, considering we don't have chargers in most places yet, it would be nice. Right now, I could not drive to my sister's house and back on one electric charge. I'd have to charge the whole thing up at my sister's house and come back. But on their batteries, yeah, no problem. Full round trip. So this looks like it.
Is this Mullen still? We have a comment from Tadia. Trendline says $1.13, but wondering if MULN will get down into the gap at 70.89. They're like magnets. So he or she is referring to gaps and maybe another trend line. Maybe it could push down that far.
Let's see.
We could look at a longer term and see, but I don't know if you'll get it down that far. It just depends on your volume and where your support's going to come in at, when the buyers start stepping in. Now, this market's been pretty brutal, so, you could look for it to go under $1. Since it's this close, you could.
Well, it has been under $1. It did have a low here over a year. It's 52-week low. It's actually a 6-month low of 52 cents. And that was just before all this volume came in. I mean, she was higher than that with no bloody volume whatsoever. When all the volume came in, it's almost like that low bubble kicked it into gear. Voop. And it hasn't been a huge jump. And she could come down, the technicals, she's been under the signal line here. Once you get above that signal line, things start to happen. But I see she's rolling on that 50. God, that didn't work out well. Boom, boom, boom. She's rolling on that 50 hard. There's a very good likelihood that she could dip. Without producing revenues, people move their money. And there's a lot of activity out there right now. And if you're invested in this company and you think, oh, heck, it's not going to be creating revenues for another 6 months, I'm going to go put my money someplace where it is moving.
Well, today I want us to look at the daily as well. Make sure you look at that daily.
We like daily. 5-day, 5-minute.
It looks like it's under to me. So, it could push down further.
Now, let me see. If we go just to 20 days. All right. So that low right now is just a low for the last 5 days, $1.18. For the last 20 days, she was down here at 79 cents. She took a lurch. She took a big jump right here. That was on 5/31, the last day of last month. Let's go take a look at the OTC market and see what they tell us for that.
So, yes, it's possible it could revisit that. It's starting to be a little bit weaker, it seems like, the further we're getting at. It was holding up pretty strong, but a couple of days, I think, will tell you the direction of what MULN is going to do, unless we get some kind of catalyst or news, something to keep the investors interested. And so right now, it's just dwindling because it went up so fast. You saw that where it shot up on May or the end of May. That was a crazy move. So, yeah, it's going to give it back.
Right there. That's why it ran. I think that's actually when day before. It was a day before I covered Mullen. And then on May 31st, the news came out that he had successful tests for his battery. And it surpassed. I didn't get into details, but it didn't just do well. It did better. It did stronger. It lasted longer. It surpassed everything they expected. So, yeah, this is why I'm excited. I think the electric car thing is great, but there's a lot of electric cars out there. This has to stand out somehow. That's how it's going to stand out. Be the first car with a solid state polymer battery that has double the range. First mover advantage. That
would be very nice.
Put the patent on it, so nobody's going to be able to steal it. However, the people over in Switzerland can have the same thing, a solid state polymer battery, but they've made theirs a wee bit differently. So, and that's an international patent. They may not have anything over here like we have nothing over there. So the technologies could race each other. So I'm excited to see this move. And as you can see, there was a lot of excitement. People understand.
That's what
right
did
there.
It.
And then, of course, you had your profit takers. Of course you did. Look at this. It was sitting flat for all that time. It rose. Why wouldn't these people take that money? Easy gains. But as you can see, there's the bottom of the surge, the top of the surge. There's the 50% mark. If it will keep half of what it put on the table, it's a strong, solid surge. It should hold it for the most part. And she has. We've gone through many days here. She's just hanging on to that 50% of that surge. So I would expect another jump. She may be hanging around waiting for this 200 to catch up to her so she could bounce off of it like a diving board, literally. So Mullen has a lot of followers, but there's a lot of non-believers too. So do your own DD. She has a lot of potential in my eyes.
Very true. Top Sealer Jurgen was saying today QTT was a great call. Was that one you were discussing earlier?
Yeah, I covered that as one of my Chinese companies the other day.
Nice. It must have done well.
I seen Financial Investor covered that today. QTT.
Financial Investors watching you, John.
Yeah, I seen they're actually a follower with me on Twitter. I don't have a lot, but and you know, I watch them. They are looking at the same stuff I am. I can tell. I mean, we're both focused in on the same side of the house. So we're going to see the same thing. So it's really nice. I kind of like the company myself.
I mean, it's confirmation if nothing else. But yeah, look at how it moved. What a beauty.
Yeah, she took off. Now, we had looked at this because Monday is when the news came out and Alibaba and other bigger companies started moving. And this company isn't as big. They're doing about $700 million a quarter. So they're not small, but you know, they're not gigantic. But this is today, right? Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So there was your initial jump for the Chinese news.
Building up and then boom.
And let's see, that went from 82 cents up to 96 cents. You know, and for a stock that hasn't been doing anything, I'm sure people are happy to see that. Didn't do anything Tuesday, but yesterday it really had a huge surge. I see, and that's when we looked at it. I see it's had a huge fall, but it's bounced back. Depending on when you would have entered this could have been a great play. And I think most of our viewers probably overlooked the fact because we deal with OTC. I don't know about you, but I can't trade OTC on my broker. I'm on TD. Who do you use, Lily?
I use TD Ameritrade as well, but I'm hearing that Webull's kind of got it opened up with free commissions. So I'm thinking of actually opening a Webull account now.
Do they allow you to trade pre-market, after-market?
Now that I don't know. Probably not. Not for
yeah,
OTC.
See, when I first started trading in 2018, I could trade OTC stocks pre-market, after-market. I don't know when it stopped, but they don't let me do it.
That away from retail investors.
Yeah, because you still see the trading going on, and it's really frustrating to see something moving and you want it, and you got to wait until the bell goes off. That's why I like penny stocks. Not only can I trade pre-market, aftermarket when a lot of activity is happening. I mean, there's some serious bouncing going on there, but it's free. I don't have to have a Webull account. I don't have to have any special account. There's just no charges for these major exchange plays. So I really like that fact. So yeah, she had a nice recovery today. And, you know, this didn't move on anything but market sentiment because of the Chinese news. She hasn't got anything special going on.
Sympathy.
Yep.
Nice.
And right now, it's funny. I would see this as being an M. I would see this coming down and tagging somewhere down here, which at that point, I know Lily says she hasn't heard of this, but when I see a big M on the board, it normally keeps falling. Murder.
I know. I didn't hear that part, but I don't like seeing M's. I don't. I usually wait and I'm patient because the stock is going to have to show me it's going to continue on. Usually it starts dying down. And, you know, you miss the move, but that's okay. It's important to learn how to identify these things. You know,
and again,
another day. Don't buy at the top.
You can see it's a habit of mine. I always recognize giant surges or giant falls. What is it called? Fibonacci? Doesn't that work? The Fibonacci works on these breaking things into half and the 50% and the 26 and the blah, blah, blah. But this when you find the top and find the bottom and find the absolute middle, I just eyeball it to get an idea. But when you find the absolute middle, just using the math, that is an algorithmic place on the chart. Even though there's no line there, we know there is because we did the math. And that will come into play, I don't care, a month from now. If the price goes way up and starts to fall, this will stop it. It will be a strong support and hold it, even though this really has nothing to do with all of this. We could draw that.
To continue.
And look where it's sitting. This too is sitting above the 50%. It did come down, bounced off that 20, supremely, and landed up here. I mean, that's a decisive movement in the chart. It wants to be up. So I would expect some more movement, but not without volatility.
We'll see. I don't know. I'm going to be hesitant with anything that was China that kind of just popped off because of sentiment. I would wait and see how it's going to play out.
Well, I expect it to dip, but the whole point here is to realize why this moved, not the company itself. It moved because China is letting these technology companies have more freedom. So there's, I think, 261 Chinese companies on the major exchanges, and I don't know how many are on the OTC, but they have not all moved yet. There's companies out there that deal with delivery. There's companies that deal with healthcare, finances, education online. China is just loaded with technology companies. So if you can find yourself a list of Chinese companies that haven't run yet, just put them on a watch list and watch the volume. No need to guess. Just wait till one starts to put up silly volume and get into that one. And don't get greedy. When you start feeling a little nervous, take it, lock it in.
Right.
Then you feel like a hero. And don't worry about how much it goes up. You get in the habit of taking gains when you feel like I don't want to lose it. That's a damn good habit. Take it when you feel that. Don't fight that feeling.
Absolutely not. And Rick was asking about catalysts in general, like if we have anything or anything we know that's coming up or stuff we're looking at. He did mention DUTV and INTK are exciting. It's on the screen for you.
All right. Let me see. There's a lot of companies that have catalysts coming, and people are just really tired of waiting. I mean, that's really what it is. One of the companies I saw being talked about a ton on Twitter is Sybil. And when I went through this is their newest corporate presentation. Sybil's making really good money. It's increasing all the time. They started off at 325,000 like 5 quarters ago, and then went to 1.5, 3, 5.5, and now they've almost touched 7 in this last quarter. So they're constantly making more revenue, and that's what you want to invest in. A play is a play. Doesn't matter what's going on with the company. You're not in it long enough for it to make a difference. But if you're looking for a company, I'm
sorry. I was going to put some on Sybil since you were talking about that one. I'm seeing a lot of chatter that they have like a 19.5 million repurchase.
Yeah, right there. That's what I got on the screen. See it?
Okay, I didn't see it on there, but that's what I've been picking up with all the chatter. They're doing a repurchase program.
And this was revealed. And this is revealed in their presentation. So that's why I was pointing out the presentation, because it's not out there anywhere else. And when you figure it out, the price is like at 0.016 right now, I think. But if you just say 2 cents, what's that come out to? Geez, how many shares would that be? If you go 19.5, no, we don't use a point. 19.5 million. Yeah, you got to actually put all the numbers in there. And we will divide that by, let's just call it 2 cents to make it easy. That is almost 1 billion shares. Now, they're not going to do it all at once. It's at their leisure when they want. But if we take a look at their share count, I do recall that they have quite a high share count. Get out of there. Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, the float is 4.5 billion. 5.1 outstanding. So they're going to buy back 1 billion of them, which is good. They need to get that out of. That's 20% of the stock almost. So that's not a bad decrease. And that does put value onto yours. How much? 20% when it's done. Right now, it's just talk. So
Yeah.
that is part of what's going on. But they got a lot of businesses. They work with drones. They work with lighting. They've got a lot of things going on, and they're making revenues from all of them, and they are getting bigger. So it is a solid company. I think the other thing I noticed, yep, you see here, they're pink limited information, which means they're late on their filings. When I came down here and looked, over here is the period that they're filing for. So you can see the last filings here were for the end of last year. But you come down below that, you see they got a quarterly that they put in, well, the same time. Wow, 1, 2, 3, 4. So they put in a quarterly report, an annual report, and an attorney letter. You've got to have an attorney letter with any annual report. My point, they've got everything in. Everything is current. Everything is caught up. All the pieces are here. That should change. That should go up to pink current. And that will give it a lift too. People, you know, yay, we're out of the dark. So what were the tickers that that you said?
DUTV.
ZU?
Oh, D is in Delta. U is in uniform. T is in Tango. And V is in Victor.
Oh, DUTV, Digital Utility Ventures. Let's see what we got here. I may have looked at this company randomly. Digital Utilities Ventures is working to become a formidable presence in the green solutions market. We've identified opportunities and acquisitions, enhancing green solutions. So I don't know exactly what they do. Let's see if they have any news going on or what's happened here currently. Yeah, they had news just 2 days ago. Digital Utilities announces the formation of Easy Modular Manufacturing. Modular manufacturing. Talking houses? I don't know.
Yeah, seriously.
I did see a fold out house the other day. That was pretty cool. The incorporation Easy Modular Manufacturing fits into Digital Utilities Ventures strategy under EMMI, Easy Modular Manufacturing Division, to ramp up mass assembly line under the umbrella. Well, I'm not quite sure. Okay, let's see here. With an approximate retail cost of $1 million for each of the fertilizer modules, DUTV should be showing revenue within the next 2 quarters. All right, well, Easy Modular Manufacturing has something to do with fertilizer. I would have to see something there because I'm not quite sure what that is.
I have to read up a little bit more.
So that just came out 2 days ago, and then last month, planned company structure, which has probably got something to do with shares, I would think. Again, they're talking about their modular manufacturing. So whatever that is, they're putting a lot of focus on it right now. Says they're a shell risk, which means they're supposed to be reporting revenues right now, and they say that they're not. Let's just take a quick peek over here. Well, they got nothing showing up over here. Now, that doesn't mean that the last filing right there, they could have something. And all you got to do is scroll down until you see the numbers. But you can also look up there and they'll tell you if they have any operations at all. Yeah, right here. So this is what they do, become a formidable business in green solution. Again, it's very general here. Emissions from petroleum products. Not very specific. All right, let's see what we got here. Assets. All right, there are no extra zeros here. They got $5,000 in assets. They've got $4 million in liabilities. Ouch.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's an oucher. And net loss, no, they've got no revenues coming in. Their net loss is expenses, just trying to stay, paying the bills, stuff like that. So whatever they got going right now, they definitely need to get it going. They said they're going to have revenues in the next 2 quarters, supposedly. So basically now till the end of the year, really. And let's see what their relative volume was today. Volume even fell. They went from 6 million to 4 million in this market. But look, they got a 13% gain today. Price of 0078. Let's go take a look.
They had that news. It looks like it might have moved. I would be very careful though. Their financials are a wreck right now.
All right, that's a 1 hour. Yeah, their financials are a wreck. They definitely need the revenues. So the more information they can give us about this modular factory that they're putting together and who they're going to be selling their products to, that's going to help. But I got a line here. I'm not quite sure what it's there for, but you can see she pretty much has been hugging it. She hasn't gone too far.
Go.
Just here recently. And what day was that news? 2 days ago?
Yeah, I think it was the 8th or the 7th.
The 7th, right?
Yesterday.
So you had a little bounce there. It did actually tease it. It got it above the 200 on the 1 hour. Let's come down to that 5 minutes, see if she actually stayed there for any length. So she took off first thing in the morning when that news came out. There was some excitement, and that was it. And look, one extreme to another extreme.
Yeah,
right
it went lower because a lot of people went ahead and just got out of it. You could see it was really sideways for quite a bit, and they didn't feel like replaying that one.
The only thing that looks good right now on this 5 minute, 5 day chart is that the price is sitting firmly on the 50 with the 200 so close that it should not ignore it. However, the technicals are all really weak. She's in a place to actually get the upper hand if some news came out, if a news press came out. But on her own, you can see the volume is dwindling. It's getting lighter and lighter right now. So I would actually think she may either just hang around this area, just around the 50. What's the price? Yeah. I see her probably not coming any lower than 0073, about half of what she fell here. I think that'll probably be
but it's a good area to watch. It's a good area to watch. Sand Tribe has made it. He's present. Hi, Sand Tribe.
Hey, Sand Tribe.
He's wanting to look at GTEH, Golf Tango Echo Hotel.
DTGH?
GTEH. I figured while we were in the charts. Golf Tango Echo Hotel.
Oh, golf. I got D, not G. GTCH.
GTE is an Echo. H.
Oh, E. Oh. Oh, I don't think I know this one. I thought he was talking about GTCH. Let's see what we got here. It's back up. She's cheap, obviously. Oh, goodness. 0002. So we're going to get a lot of picket fences here. All right, let's come in there.
I can't see it, John. I can't see anything.
You can't see anything, really?
Sand Tribe. What you after?
All right, so she's been falling for a long time, stair-stepping, nice patio steps here. She's really not doing a whole lot. So honestly, we've got to go over to we got to come over here. And what was that ticker again? GTEH.
Yes.
All right, let's see what we got here. Gentech Holdings. Okay. Boy, I haven't looked at this company in a very long time. Publicly traded company under the symbols. I don't see a shell company here. It operates several brands in the functional food space. SynFit, Next Bar, Organics, Nature Smoothie, Physique, MPB Snacks. It also operates several brands in nutritional space, American Metabolics and Storm Lifestyles. Okay. Now that's presuming that's up to date. Many times we read stuff that just isn't true anymore. What was her volume today? She did a little bit more. She was holding on. She jumped from 74 to 79. Her shares, oh my God. Holy cannoli. Do you see that, Lily?
Yeah, I see it.
Wow.
That's a lot.
I had to see if it was billion or trillion. Trillion. So we got 29, almost 30 billion. You know what that is?
That's a lot.
He's either going to make a lot of deals. He's got a lot of money in the bank. Actually, he don't. Look, there's only 6 million shares that are not on the market. It's fully diluted.
Oh, my goodness.
He can't
so
make
not much he can really do.
No, see, this is bank money, folks. They make a deal with a company. They'll give him $50,000 and 1 million shares, and that's supposed to make up the difference. Well, he's got no shares to give away. So that's called fully diluted. And look they're all in our pockets, not in his. He's got 692, the management, the insiders do. We got 29 billion shares, which means a reverse split. Whenever he needs to get money in the bank so that he can make a deal, he's going to have to rob us with the reverse split. It's just bound to happen. Just no ifs, ands, and buts around that. That's too many blooming shares. Whew. Do they make any money?
Yikes.
Well, they do have some. They're making just about $1 million here at the end of last year. Well, almost. And 410,000, almost a $500,000, but they only got to keep $62,000 out of that last quarter. But they are making money, although they had an empty spot here. I don't know what that's about. Any disclosures, anything to stimulate this thing? They did have a quarterly report that just came out, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything on this one that I like.
No. All right, let's just
food sector. I get that it can have some sympathy, but we're talking about snacks and stuff like you're not talking about wheat and grain and where it counts. It's going to feed the people. So I don't think it's got much going for it. Could be wrong.
So there are all of its subsidiaries, the list we read through. Every single one does have its own website, and you can access them right through their 10Q here. They have a few buildings, so they've actually got places there that they're working. This is important. People say they've got stuff and they don't because people don't check. I've actually put an address into Google to see what a factory looks like, and it turns out to be a daycare center. And it's like, what? So you've got to do your homework with these pinks. You've definitely got to be looking to see they're not trying to pull the wool over your eyes. All right, so what do we got here? Current assets, they've got $3 million in assets. So they've actually got something in the bank. $7 million in liabilities. That's, don't be overwhelmed when you see bigger liabilities, but you want to see it comparable. You buy a house for $150,000. You only give them $30,000 to move in. You still owe a lot of money, but it is your house. So, that's kind of the same thing going on here until they've been in business for a while and turn those numbers around. And their revenue, 610,000. So they made $500,000 last quarter. So they're in business. They are doing something. They're not doing it very fast. That's what they need to do. They need to increase their revenue, but there's no way around that share structure. That's a bomb waiting to explode.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. So we got another one though, John. Another ticker they would like you to check on is G as in golf, E as in echo, G as in golf, and R as in Romeo.
G as in golf, E as in echo.
G as in golf, and R as in Romeo.
Oh, Geiger. Yeah. All right. We did look at Geiger a little while ago. Let's go take a look at over here, Geiger. It's funny. I don't remember these things until boom, you look at their home and you go, oh yeah, I've been here before. I remember this one. So Geiger, she's at 3.5 cents. She didn't drop too much today, about 0.5%. We have formed partnership of our new management team. Geiger now provides project financing. Let's see what we got in the news. Pink Limited. Hopefully they've got some filings that have come in here. Genzo Energy flagship retail coffee announces acquisition. Right. This is the company. Right. I do remember this company. We talked about this. This guy, the guy who owns this company, he's been making a lot of purchases. You can see here, 40% of this company, 40% of this company. And if we go back, you'll see even more, 40%, 40%. He has been buying all these companies. They're all from Italy. They're all from Italy. They've all been in business for 30 plus years. They all are in fabrication. They make steel pipes. They make steel roofs. He bought a TV, something to do with the TV channel and something to do with audio, but the audio fell through. They had a CBD company, but he sold out of all the CBD. So he got out of that. And then they have just gotten into coffee and he got 40% of that. So the guy is just, and I'll bet you it's an Italian company because this guy, everything he does is over in Italy. Let me see here. Genzo announces the Monopoline has signed agreements for strategic acquisition, 70% controlling interest of this cafe. There it is, coffee roasting company in Italy. But these aren't startup companies he's investing in. Every single company is already making revenues, nice revenues, is doing steady business, has a track record that is solid. So if you're looking for a company that is making money and is not startup, Geiger is definitely it. No doubt about that. This guy
he's
just
definitely
keeps.
shopping, and he looks like he's interested and got money to play with.
Now let's see if they've got any filings to get rid of this Pink Limited. 6-6. Yeah, a quarterly report, 331. There's the annual report. Notice of late filing right there. Okay, so he filed on the 15th. When you put in a notice of late filing, which is normally an NT filing, it's an excuse and it buys you 5 days. That's all it really does. It doesn't mean you can be as late as you want. You get 5 days, and you can see by the whistle, bing, ding, ding, 520. They used every day they could get. And amazingly so, a lot of times when these notification of late filings come out, you would anticipate the stock to fall. I don't know why, but they go up. I don't know why, but I see it over and over again. But they're all caught up now, so this should fall off. I see the annual and I see the attorney. So I really like this company. Now, the chart, we were just looking at it, did not look very healthy at all. That is a 4-hour, 6-month chart. She was only at 20 cents back here. Now, that was 6 months ago. When was all that news actually happening? All those 40% deals? Let's see here. That was back September of last year.
That, and what do their financials look like still? Are they still healthy? And if so, then, might be an opportunity.
Yeah, we never looked at the financials. Well, look at that. Gee whiz. From nothing to 77 million. You got to put 3 zeros. So I told you, he jumped into something. Now, obviously, he's paying out something, but look, he's getting to keep 2/3 of that money, and that's just by owning companies that are operating. So he's just investing in other companies that are already making money, and that's how he makes his money. So that looks good. I mean, that's impressive. How about a quarterly report? 27 million in that quarter, 21 million, 10 million. So we see it's increasing, definitely increasing. So I like this company.
I'm not mad at it, John.
So this, boy, look at that. He's doing 77 million. And is that right? 77 million? And we are
what you said.
A nickel?
Yeah.
So, and that was his first quarter coming out of the gate. He didn't even hit 100,000 or 500,000. He jumped right up to 77 million, and he got to keep, what was it, 55 million of it. Yeah. So, wow. And you can buy a company that has, I don't believe they have any debt. You need to jump into the 10Q. That's going to be a nice one to read. And you see how easy it is. They lay the information out. It's just not all accounting. You can skip the accounting because they'll actually talk about the numbers. If you just want to read what they mean, they'll tell you. So this looks like a great opportunity. And even at 20 cents, I mean, I'm thinking that's not a bad price. I'm going to go back a year here. 35 is what he was a year ago, and that was in July. This is before he made all of his deals in September. And does it look like anybody cared? You had one bump there. I'll bet you that was one of the deals. But no, this to me looks like it's under the radar. What do you think, Lily?
I'm thinking that I'm agreeing with you. So I would like to find out. I would do a little bit more research. Just want to check in to make those 10Qs, stuff like that, make sure of what I'm anticipating in the future. And then I would like to look at our supports and resistances. If this right here is a recent low, like an all-time low, then I would wait a little bit. Yeah, if that's what that is, I can't tell.
Let me back up
a little bit.
It is for the 6 month, and yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so I think we're looking at an all-time low. So I want to make sure that's going to hold up, and then maybe I would start, putting in. And I wouldn't go my full position. Don't do a full position. But
because it could fall lower.
What he's doing, he's up to something, you guys.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember, yes, it is a nickel. And let's say you wanted, let's just say $100. Well, if it falls to 4 cents, you've just lost 20% of your investment because there's not a lot there. It's only a nickel. So you don't want to put everything into it if it looks tempting, because we did hit a low here and we're just bouncing off of it. But that's not to say that's the last low. It could definitely go lower. But let me see. Our technicals aren't showing any turnaround right now.
Yeah, I would like to see some volume coming in. I would like to see other investors, picking up, and the buyers are stepping in. But this is one to keep an eye on. There could be some opportunity here.
Yeah, I like Gegger. She's very cheap, a small position now. If she drops, you obviously add to it at 20%, 40% less. So you're going to have a real great price. And when his next filing comes out, God knows how much money he's going to make. He's adding more businesses.
Yeah, I want to check into him and what he's done in his past. What kind of management are we dealing with here? We don't know. So let's do that. But yeah, it's a great one to look at. I like what I'm seeing. Snookeroo said, John, thanks for all your updates and vids. INND paid very well Monday. Beers on me.
Yeah, it did have a nice jump, and that's what was
nice.
That's what we're getting. They are brief jumps right now, folks. And that's why we're day traders, we're swing traders. I mean, even swing trading is a little dangerous right now. It really is. That's when you take a small position, when you see a good catalyst in the works and it's coming, at least you believe it's coming, and you just prepare for it. And if it dips, you add a little bit more. Don't put the house on anything right now. But I've been day trading. I've been just getting in and getting out because, as you can see, there are some huge climbs, but there's some huge falls right behind them too. So what do you got here in this crazy market? I look for info everywhere. And when it comes to the OTC, John is my first stop. We appreciate that. I've been seeing some nice comments out there from you folks. I know we don't have a big crowd, but doesn't matter. As long as we're helping those that are listening, that's what matters to us. We just want to pass on some good information, and we are not the all to end all. We are the beginning. We are the start. We hopefully just are street signs pointing to nice places to go, but you got to go in and check the place out yourself. See if it fits you.
We're so glad that you all join us because we do work hard. I know John works hard to bring y'all some valuable information, stuff that he sees, catalysts that's coming up. I think he does a video every day. Am I right?
Virtually every day.
Y'all need to be checking out John because most of the things we talk about on Thursday, he did a video 2 or 3 days ago, and you could have already been like, yes, I banked on that. We had a couple today, so that's really nice. Thank y'all for sharing. But there were a few that I was watching, and I will say CYBL is one of them because I saw it was picking up on its volume. So that's what I'm watching right now, which I think they have some investment into ILIS. I can't remember, or if ILIS is invested in them. There's something going on there.
Right. ILIS is in a couple companies.
Yes. And then there was another one that I saw. It was a bigger chart. And I know we don't have much time, you guys. I just want to go over it real quick. RHHBY had a huge down day, like yesterday or today. And
you want me to show that?
OTC, yeah, you can pull it up if you want to, John. It's an OTC, but it was sitting at 53.86 for its high, and then all of a sudden we're at 39.32. So, and you may not want to play in that price range because most people do have to pay to participate in the OTC. It was RHHBY. So I just wanted to point it out because I think it's at a support, maybe a 3-year support that I was seeing on that chart. So it's the one to watch.
Right. There's your 3 years right there. And not only is it on a support right there. Let me see if I get my line here. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, you can see
like buyers are stepping in. And that's kind of why I wanted to point it out. But if it's not part of your plan, if you don't want to, pay that much, it's just one I wanted to bring up for variety.
Yeah, I can see it. She's definitely lined up on her support, a big long support. As you said, 3 years. She is sitting on the 200, which, she doesn't come down there very often. But when she does, it looks like she bounces. Let's look at it closer.
I've seen that pretty strong trend, even in the COVID days. I mean, it was lower than this, so it seems to be holding up pretty well. Now, I don't know what caused it to drop. I'm not sure, so check into that. But it is one I wanted to mention to all of you.
That dropped April 11th. That's when she started her drop. She started to really fall, went beneath that support, but you can see That was the whole reason she turned there, folks, as far as I can tell. Now there's a
our
low
buyers
bubble
are
here, and that low has a
stepping in.
lot to do with
And
it.
then we came back down, and now we're retesting it. This is why I wanted to bring it to your attention, to everybody's attention. Are we going to hold up here? If so, it might be a good spot to enter. Give it time, have some patience, but keep an eye on RHBBY.
And does this have no options?
Sorry, RHHBY. What's that, John?
No options.
No options, of course. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that. I also was going to talk about INND, but we've already discussed it really quick. We did cover it, I think, last week or the week before. INND had a beautiful day, or this week.
Interscope hearing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that.
Yeah, they're the ones that had the continuation, another deal with Walmart for $10 million.
They were like number 11 for our movers today. So, like with trades, they had like 500 something trades. That was in the middle of the day, but it was like number 11 when it comes to the advancers in the OTC market. So, I just wanted to bring it up. Keep an eye on IND. It may have came down a little bit. I can't remember. I look at so many charts. It may have came down a little bit, but if it holds up, it might be a good opportunity that we might see some continuation there.
Yeah, that's another company that is solid. They're doing business. Yeah. They're legitimate. So, we're showing you companies, if you're going to put your money somewhere and let it sit for a while, these companies may have volatility, but they've got good business. They've got solid customers. Walmart, $10 million. Come on. The money doesn't get any better than that. So They're growing.
Well, I'm so glad you guys joined us. We got one more. Holy cow. How about the close today? Shellacked is what happened. Hold on. Shellacked. Is that how he supposed to do it?
I don't know what made it fall.
It was a little today on a lot of things. Spy, everything's touching that.
I normally have my Bloomberg on, and you can keep up. Now, my dad was watching Bloomberg, and he says, "I don't know why the market was going up." He says, "We have just been riddled with bad news today." Just bad news.
That's what Lily's been screaming at all of y'all. So I'm like, y'all want to play, but I'm playing short term. So it's going to figure it out, you guys, but we're still headed down, in my opinion. I mean,
yeah, we are.
And if it takes us a while to get there, so be it. Play the short term, but just making sure you're locking it in. I don't think we're ready to be like, oh yeah, we're blasting. It's going to be a minute, you guys. Just be smart.
Right. And if you're holding stocks that are falling, if your companies have solid business, solid management, don't panic. Just add a little to it when it hits those stupid prices.
You might see an opportunity. This is opportunity. So
if you paid
go slow, be patient. However you're playing it, be patient.
If you paid a nickel for it and it's down to 0.005, you're going to get 10 shares for every 1 share you bought the first time around. So only buy 1/10 as much, but take advantage of it, because when it starts to grow, when the world gets back into smooth motion, these companies are going to start growing and your investment is going to pay off. Anything else there, Lily, except same place, same time next week?
No, absolutely same place, same time. Thank you all so much. We really enjoy these, you guys. We'll see you next Thursday.
Folks. Thanks for bearing with us, or at least me. She's a pleasure. See.